Good morning, everyone. Good to see you again. And I'm happy to tell you a little something about Project CH+ Games for Democracy. We are addressing this situation right here. During elections, our streets in Switzerland usually look a little something like this. We have a lot of faces, a lot of statements that don't have a lot of content. And frankly, especially for young people, this situation is overwhelming because a lot of young people don't identify with specific parties and they are also not yet familiar with specific politicians. On the other hand, however, stuff that we are very familiar with in our free time looks a little something like this. The future is now. Entertainment is always at the tip of a button, just available to us. We love engaging in social media, mobile games, all of that beautiful stuff. And in Project CH+, we're asking ourselves, can we use the alluringness of entertainment content and apply it to an election content in the sense of making people curious to learn more about political candidates? In order to do that, we are creating a voting help, especially for young people, with young people. We are working together with SmartVote. They have been creating political questionnaires for more than 10 years now. They are providing us with information. We bring the game design expertise. And then the magic ingredient, very important, is user requests. I guess as designers or researchers, you know that if you create a product, it's important to involve the users. But in this case, especially because we're doing something that's supposed to have like a democratic purpose, so we would like to do it with a democratic approach. So these three ingredients help us create voting tools. So they're voting support tools that help you decide which candidate to vote for during elections. Now, gamification or no gamification? That's what we're also asking ourselves. That's why we have two concepts. We have the elegant CH+ app, and we have, well, the less elegant but very entertaining dope elections. CH+ app is designed for usability and really user-friendliness and efficiency when you're trying to make your list. And dope elections is for people who just want to dabble a little bit in politics and get to know people. And we want to figure out which of these approaches works better or worse, and just learn from both of them. Overall, our goal is to keep on developing the two applications until the next federal elections. So the project started in the last federal elections, and we want to continue developing locally from canton to canton until 2023. We have been in the canton Uri. That was the first applied test. Then we went to Basel-Stadt. Just recently, we concluded a research round in Neuchâtel, and now we're preparing for a research round in Fribourg. Next year, write that down if you're interested, we're going to Vaud or Bern. So we're looking for partners for that. And of course, we are funded by foundations. We have the Gebet Rüff Foundation, we have the Prototype Fund, and the e-Government Switzerland is funding us as an innovation project. So, first time we tried this, so this was just a recap real short from the second project iteration that was in Canton Uri, first time. Basic concept, you fill in the SmartVote questionnaire, so you have to ask political questions, and then you can swipe through candidates, kind of like Tinder, so it's a dating app idea here. Every candidate has a profile, and in the end, you can drag and drop different candidates onto your list, and you dynamically see how well this list matches you depending on which candidates you add. We have done a first test since it was the first time we tried it. We wanted to make sure we're not doing weird stuff, and we compared the CH+ app to SmartVote just to see if there were any negative side effects from this first gamification attempt. We are safe to continue. We learned a lot of other things regarding design and usability. And this is what led us to the third project iteration, which is the one in Basel-Stadt. In Basel-Stadt, we had a couple of goals. We wanted to customize the prototype that you just saw in order to fit Basel-Stadt, to make it like for the people who use it, to show them this is really for you. Then we added new functionalities. The most important one is that we wanted to add the candidates for an additional council. until this point there was just one council, now there would be two. We wanted to improve the general feedback, as in animations and pop-ups and beautiful fluffy things. And because the Canton Basel-Stadt was a lot bigger than the Canton Uri, we had to revisit the usability of creating a political list with like 30 seats on it. In Uri you would have like 10 maximum or 17. And in Canton Basel-Stadt there would all of a sudden be 34 seats to fill. So we had to address that. Co-design is one of the most important principles of what we're doing, which is why we cooperated with the Youth Council in Basel-Stadt and with a youth application, a mobile application. Amongst other things, these people could decide on the color of the application and prominent imagery that was featured in the application. Of course, they also tested before we went live to see if there's any major issues with anything. Now, what does the Basel-Stadt prototype look like? It will go very fast. Later on, of course, you can check out the links if you're interested. Let's just go to the interesting bits of this video. So you have the swiping functionality here. You can rank candidates, your favorites at the start. Every candidate has a profile, and then you can dynamically create your own party list. Yes. And for us, really, the emphasis is developing this thing together with users. That's kind of the core thing of the entire research. All right, so what did we change in this third project round? We redesigned it, we made it more modern, more streamlined, and of course we had to fit the new functionality somewhere. Also beautiful new colors that were chosen by users. Then, because we had a larger amount of political lists, we added filters so that you could distinguish the different lists, that you could switch between official lists, ones that you created by yourself and ones that you adapted from an official list. And then we added a new functionality so that when you created a list that you really like for politicians, you could follow them, and after the elections you would see who from this list was actually elected. We also added a lot of information so that people who got into contact with candidates in the application would also have a way to follow up on other political topics, or follow up, okay, now I know the people I like, how do I actually vote? So we implemented a lot of additional info. So how did it go? Third project round. Our prototype was online for around a month before the elections. And in that time, we had around 566 users. In the end, 55 of those participated in the final evaluation. So final evaluations are also always part from our project rounds. We do the testing in the beginning, we throw the prototype out there, and then we ask people what they thought about it. So what did they think? This shows you a lot of numbers, but luckily we only care about this one over here. This shows us the biggest issue with the prototype. A lot of people didn't finish the tutorial and therefore didn't unlock all functionalities of the application, which made it not as useful as it could have been, because only around 30% unlocked everything. In the final evaluation, we asked, why did you stop using the application? And two major points. First of all, our tutorial wasn't good, straightforward. And the second one was really that candidates didn't fill in their smart vote profiles and people thought there was not enough content, which is unfortunate because this is something we cannot really influence. If candidates don't fill in their profiles, we don't have their data. Overall, compared to the first public project round, in Uri we got a little bit better ratings. We believe that has to do with the tutorial system that we implemented and some new functionalities that were necessary for the complexity of the bigger canton, but they were not well explained, so people didn't understand it. This notion is also a little bit reflected here. The highest number you see, so people who did the final survey, they rated the application with 3.7 out of 5 points. These are all people who participated, and the people who unlocked all functionalities, they scored the application slightly higher with 4.1 points. So that makes us think that once they unlocked everything and they understood how it works, it was way more useful for them. So what are we going to do? We're definitely going to improve our tutorials and the explanations thereof. Then creating lists in large cantons, we still have to work on that feature, so the drag and drop list creation. And the Dream Teams feature of seeing who was elected in the very end, we have to communicate more clearly what that is all about. So what is next? Fribourg is happening in autumn. We are looking for testers, usability testers. If you know people in Fribourg who are interested in anything game or politics related, please send them our way. We need testers. We really base our designs on the input that we get. And then 2022 in spring, there's election in Vaud and Bern. Again, if you're interested in this project or the research, or you can think of a cooperation, holler at us. We're very interested in any form of cooperation and building cool stuff. In the next rounds, we will continue working on these two applications. You just saw an introduction for the CH Plus app, but we will develop two different ones to compare the gamification level and the successfulness thereof. I kept on saying we are a team of 4 at the moment. We have 2 programmers. We have a research support and project management and design. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for the timing and for this nice project. Any questions in the audience? Yes.
Yeah, I'm a programmer, so I'm surprised that you offer a tutorial. And because I come to any app and I don't read any tutorials, I would be irritated if I had to do one. So why is this assumption about tutorial?
Have I to repeat? Yes. Okay, so the question is about the necessity to go through a tutorial in a gamified application. Is it coherent? Is it okay, not okay? It's not in the wave now, so what is your...
It's definitely not the final solution yet. As mentioned, we developed this from election to election, and we have to, of course, work with the resources that we have. We don't have the biggest budget in the universe, so we have to make do with what we got. At the same time, the tutorial is designed in a way that it leads you through the list creation of a smaller council, because during elections you usually vote for 2. There's a smaller one and a bigger one. And the tutorial leads you through the creation of the smaller one so that you can use the features for the bigger one. Definitely the tutorial experience is not as it should be in the end, for sure.
But do you need it at all?
We need it, yeah. Because there are, the functionalities are good once people understand how they work.
I think we have a question on YouTube.
It's from me, actually.
Okay, go Sam.
Have you considered taking data from the social networks instead of doing the interview with the users? Because I know we have to go through the 55 questions from smartphones, and I was wondering if that was a solution that you envisioned to directly go to the result test according to the social network interaction of the user.
So do you have
It's
to
okay,
repeat the
Sam
question?
has a mic.
Okay. We are not including social media anytime soon. That is just a decision that we made. We believe that first and foremost, if you're trying to figure out who you want to vote for, this is just something that concerns you and you alone. We are very much against data harvesting in any shape or form. So no social media integration for now. And if there is, not with relation to user data.
We have another question here.
Thank you, Sophie, for this talk. My question relates maybe to this comment that you were not harvesting data, but how come you did, I didn't get, why you didn't get the profile for all the politicians' feedback? because they themselves needed to enter your app and to link in, but this is quite public, I think, information that you get in your material for voting. So couldn't it be from your side built in there?
Okay, so the question is about why not having all the profile filled by the politicians. Yeah.
For this, we are cooperating with Smart Vote, so all the data on the politicians that we have comes from them. Adding it manually, that would require additional resources. We don't have the capacity to fill in empty profiles.
I just have one last question. For me, such an application should have as a goal to make people know candidates that they don't appreciate at the beginning or they don't like them. And your way of doing things, is it a way to enhance this clustering and stereotyping because you like or you don't like, so you still in your zone of comfort, let's say, and you don't discover people who at the beginning you are not supposed to vote for. So are you thinking about, have you think about this approach?
Yes, we very much asked ourselves how to. Not sure if we want to prevent clusters, because if somebody just wants to vote for people from this party, they need to have the opportunity to do that. However, what we decided to do is on the swiping view, you see the match that you have with the politician. So after answering the questionnaire, they calculate, Smart Vote calculates a match, and you see this match number, and you see the match diagram. You see the candidate's name, but you do not see any other info. So you don't see the party, you don't see the age, you don't see the gender, except if it's a picture or, well, the name. Yeah. So we did think about the clustering. Then again, it is a tool that is supposed to really help users find their own priorities. So if a user wants to cluster, we will let them do that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sophie.
Thank you.